You know that person in your life who just can't stand mayo? Call them traumatized. Call them closed-minded. We get it. They're stuck in their ways. But here's the thing. They just haven't tried Hellmann's flavored mayo. We're talking bold flavors that will flip even the biggest skeptics. Spicy mayo that adds the perfect kick to your burger. Garlic aioli that transforms ordinary fries into something extraordinary. Chipotle mayo that turns your basic wrap into a smoky sensation. So to all the mayo haters out there, yes, we're looking at you. It's time to eat your words. Because with mayo this flavorful, any hater is just a mayo lover waiting to be convinced. Hellmann's flavored mayo. Get ready to eat your words.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
The amazing Kate Casey.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey. Today's episode is about a great series. I know you're going to love it. It is called Hitmakers. It's a 6-episode Netflix series that pulls back the curtain on the often overlooked creative forces behind today's biggest hits, the songwriters themselves. Unlike typical music competitions that focus on performers, Hitmakers centers on the writers and the producers who craft the hooks, lyrics, and melodies that shape the soundtrack of our lives. It's set in breathtaking locations like Bahamas, Nashville, and Cabo San Lucas. And it gathers 12 established songwriters and producers who come together in these high-stakes, high-pressure camps to create demos that are destined for superstars like John Legend, Shaboozey, Usher, and Lisa from Blackpink. Each episode offers a rare behind-the-scenes look at that intensive creative process. The writers are paired up, reshuffled, and pushed to collaborate under these tight deadlines. And that's while cameras capture everything, from moments of inspiration to personality clashes and emotional vulnerability. The series wraps up with these listening sessions where artists and industry insiders give them direct feedback. And it really shows exactly how songs evolve from these raw ideas into potential hits. So why does Hitmakers stand out? Well, first, again, it shines a rare spotlight on those songwriters, the creative engine behind those hits, rather than just the performers. And it's an ensemble show, so you get genuine highlights of the talent, the adaptability, the emotional stakes of these professionals working under pressure. And more than just observing, the cameras celebrate the grit, determination, and the craft of songwriters who often work in the shadows. So to bring this story to life, there are 2 standout songwriters that are featured on the show, Whitney, Phillips, and Ben Johnson. Whitney is originally from Seattle. She moved to LA with this dream of performing, but quickly found her passion in songwriting. After years of persistence, including waiting tables and an internship, her breakthrough song came when Lil Wayne contributed a verse to one of her songs, leading to her first publishing deal. She has since co-written chart toppers like hits for Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber's Stuck With You, which reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earned a BMI Pop Award. Her diverse writing credits include Kylie Minogue, Cher Lloyd, Fifth Harmony, Zara Larsson, Justin Bieber, and BB Rexa, with work for Corey Kent and Teddy Swims most recently. One of her most moving moments came at writing camp in France, where she co-wrote The Hard Way, inspired by her own heartbreak and later recorded by Celine Dion for the album Courage, a poignant tribute given based on her own recent loss with her husband. Now on Hitmakers, Whitney stands out for her focus and resilience, famously able to block out the cameras and just do the work. After more than a decade in songwriting, she has embraced this new creative stage with a sense of excitement and untapped potential, and you will really love watching her story unfold. Then you have Ben Johnston. His story starts in Meridian, Mississippi, where his musical journey began with piano lessons from his grandmother at age 6. Raised in a musical family, he played cello, guitar, and sang in bluegrass and orchestras. Alongside his sisters Jenna and KK, he formed the country trio Track 45, moves to Nashville on a cello scholarship to attend Belmont University, and soon found his footing in the industry through connections like songwriter Ashley Gorley. His songwriting career took off with his first major cut, Patient, on Charlie Puth's Voice Notes album. And since then, he's penned 9 number-1 singles across country and rock genres, including Lee Brice's One of Them Girls, which won multiple songwriting awards, plus hits for Dierks Bentley, Parmalee, Dylan Scott, Jake Owens, Hardy, Breland, and the Grammy-nominated rock track All My Favorite Songs by Weezer. He continues performing with Track 45, gaining label attention, and in 2024, he expanded into production and storytelling with the upcoming doc series Music Row, offering insight into Nashville's creative scene. So together, Whitney and Ben exemplify the passion, the perseverance, and the artistry at the heart of this great show, Hitmakers. I truly loved it. And again, I'm not someone who listens to music all the time, and I got totally sucked in right away. This is a show that truly celebrates the songwriting craft with all of its creative drama, challenges, and triumphs. And I loved chatting with them about the art of songwriting. So here's my interview. Whitney and Ben, I'm so excited to talk to you. I really love this show. And what I love about it is I think it kind of highlights, I like mad geniuses. I feel like we all are kind of our own little mad genius, but watching it, I thought, this is just like watching someone who's so good at their job go into kind of their zone. And anyway, I really enjoyed it. And I thought it would be great to have you on to talk about your careers and also just about the business of songwriting. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So I want you both to tell me a little bit about your background story. So Whitney, I'll start with you. I know you're from Seattle originally.
Yes.
And you had hopes of coming to LA and kind of being the next Britney Spears. So where does this songwriting kind of originate?
Oh God. I mean, I think I did have pop star dreams when I was younger and I came to LA. So, I mean, the songwriting came as just a necessity to have my own material to perform. So I just started writing. And then after kind of years of performing and realizing that this really wasn't the route that I wanted to take, I realized through that making music was what I loved the most. And ultimately, after many years of waiting tables, I got my first placement one day as I walked up to the break room, found out Lil Wayne was taking a song of mine. And I just kind of, shortly after that, started my career as a songwriter, signed my first deal with BMG. And that was about 13 years ago.
Wow. Okay. And Ben, you're from Meridian, correct?
I am Meridian, Mississippi, home of Jimmy Rogers, father of country music. If anybody knows who Jimmy Rogers is. And my story's so intertwined with my two sisters. So we had a bluegrass band growing up and we performed all over the Southeast, but I didn't know that songwriting was even a thing. I didn't know anything about the music industry, but we all moved up here together 12 years ago. So I was 19, my little sister was 15, older sister was 20. And we all moved up here together. And we just started trying to figure out how to make it in music. And we were just like, as long as we can fool the universe into, letting us stay in this industry, and not have real jobs, we're just going to keep fooling it. So, it was funny. I remember we played our first show in Nashville at a gas station. And this Hall of Fame songwriter named Rivers Rutherford came up. And it's funny, I say gas station, it was like a little market and all this stuff anyway, but it's very Nashville. And he came up and he said, I would love to write with you guys. And this is how little I understood about the music industry. I said, no, we don't need help writing. I didn't even understand what co-writing. I didn't understand what co-writing was. He's like, no, I'm like a big deal. He's like, I help people write hits. And I was like, I don't think we need help, because at that point we had just written everything ourselves, So anyways, that was our first introduction to the world of writing songs for others. And, he showed us the ropes. And then, it was a long time. It was 7 years before I got my first publishing deal. So I wrote 2 songs a day for 7 years, except on Sundays. And then I just knew I needed to get to my 10,000 hours. I knew it wasn't good enough. And eventually, kind of like Whit was saying, you just need one lucky break. And my lucky break was Charlie Puth heard a song I'd written. And at that point, he he'd never taken an outside song. So it was a big deal. And he cut a song I had done and changed my life. And that's when I got my publishing deal.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. I'm soaking up the last bits of summer while feeling the pull back to routine. I've been enjoying going on a ton of hikes, and it's really important to stay hydrated. Liquid IV is easy and it's convenient. You just tear, pour, and enjoy. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Staying hydrated is so important, especially in the heat, fueling up for sports, feeling yourself after a long trip or even a night out. Now, remember that delicious popsicle that you would get at a summer birthday party? Well, Liquid IV has captured that taste with the Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration Multiplier. It's going to remind you of that popsicle. That nostalgic vanilla flavor with notes of candied orange can help you feel hydrated better than water alone. Again, grab your water, tear, pour, and enjoy, and stay hydrated this summer. Visit liquidiv.com, and I want you to use the code Kate Casey at checkout for 20% off your first order. Again, visit liquidiv.com and use code Kate Casey at checkout for 20% off your first order.
Taking on a DIY job around the house is the ultimate summer project. But if your DIY home security system is a beware of dogs sign, when your real pet is Princess the cat, that's safe-ish. To be actually safe, help protect your home with a DIY system from ADT. It's easy to install and gives you virtual assistance from ADT's technical support team. Best of all, you can tell everyone in the neighborhood you set it up yourself. Don't settle for safe-ish this summer. DIY with ADT instead. Visit ADT.com to learn more.
If you could begin by just explaining what the real process of getting a song cut by a major artist, what does that entail from writing room to release?
Man, it can be so many different things. There's no typical, but I think, I can give a few examples. So if you're writing with the artist, that's the most direct path, right? So a lot of times we want to have the artist in the room writing with us. We can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. We can say, what are you feeling? What do you like? That's a lot easier. The world of pitching songs is kind of a lot of where the Hitmakers show lives, right? We have an artist who's kind of informed us generally what they want, and then we're trying to write songs in that direction. So it's a little more difficult than having the artist in the room, but it's kind of more generally maybe another aspect that could be typical. Getting them to the artist is always a whole process. We have publishers, right? And they do our calendars, and they also hear every song we write, and they go, ooh, this would be good for this artist. Ooh, this would be good for this artist. And then they'll work on ways to get it to them. I mean, my first cut with Charlie was through a friend who knew Charlie who texted it to him, right? So, and then at this point, we also are friends with a lot of the artists. So we will try to text songs directly to the artist, So it's always, that's a whole nother game. You see in the show, in the room, they could do a whole nother show on how these songs get to the artist. It's a whole process.
So you're telling me someone like John Legend, not only does he get texts from his wife and his kids and the babysitter and the school, he's getting texts from a bunch of songwriters that are like, what do you think about this?
100%.
I will say, never underestimate the wife of an artist. I've had many cuts go over the finish line because the wife was a fan of the song. So That is a thing. That is a thing.
And I think the best artists do, they know that the career is built upon great songs, and they want to expose themselves to as many great songs as possible. And so they can pick the best and put out the best, because the end of your career is when you stop putting out great songs.
Yeah.
Whitney, how do you deal with songs that you've written that you love but never get picked up?
Just cry myself to sleep mainly. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I think in the beginning years of my career, it was absolutely heartbreaking. And I took it personally. It felt like such a stamp of my talent and people's approval of me. And then you realize none of this is personal. A lot of this is luck of the draw. You can create the most amazing thing, most hit-worthy song, and it doesn't necessarily translate into a hit record because there's so many other things at play, including just the taste of the artist, just what they're feeling like. So it's like, two attractive people. It's like
Yeah.
They're both attractive, but which one are you going to go with? Just the one you're energetically more tied to. So there's so many X factors as writers that we don't have control over. So the best thing you can do is just keep your head down, keep writing stuff that you love, and the consistency of it all really pays off.
Okay, Ben, when you're collaborating with multiple writers and producers, how do you ensure that proper credit and ownership are protected from the start?
It's directed towards me. That's honestly never really an issue. There's pretty clear guidelines. Yeah, when you're in the room, especially, so Nashville has a way we do it. LA has a slightly different way, but it's usually pretty taken care of. I mean, if in Nashville, if you're in the room with people, it's all even. And then LA is a little different in the fact that sometimes, depending on the artist and situation, you could have different splits, is what they say. You know, like sometimes somebody, if they brought in an entire hook or something, and then there's a rap, you know, there can be different situations, but it's pretty standardized across the industry. There are outlier cases, obviously, like, and you just kind of handle the outliers as they come.
Okay. And then Whitney, I noticed on the show that there are a lot of these songs that are like supposedly, allegedly, maybe going to big name artists. Like, how often do you get that close?
Oh, all the time. I mean,
Really?
my career is a series of failures, or a series of almost, songs that are almost there and don't get over. But, for every, 9 of those, there's one that you do place. So like I was saying before, it's really just a numbers game.
Okay. Ben, for someone who is outside of this industry, I think the perception is that one big hit, you're set for life. Like, how accurate is that in reality?
Well, there's no doubt that a hit can really change your life. And it can be a lot of money. There's no doubt about it. And depending on genre and depending on size of the hit, it can be really life-changing. I think the issue that I'd love to speak on as well at this juncture is what's happening right now with music, with streaming, with the way the industry is changing.
Yeah.
We're a top-heavy industry. So a hit can still change your life, but there's no middle class of songwriters anymore. So, a healthy economy is built upon a strong middle class, right? And so right now what's happening is all these songs that used to be hits enough to feed your family, suddenly those are going away, and only the top 1% of songs are really, truly hits that can change your life, because we're still so tied to radio. This is what blows people's minds, right? People go, wait, what does radio have to do with this? And it's like, oh, radio is still the way we make the big bucks in songwriting. If your song's on the radio, you're going to make a lot of money. If it's not, you won't. So you can have a song that streams 1 billion times and you won't make a lot of money, because it wasn't on radio. So that's where we're trying to figure out right now.
Yeah, like,
Kate,
so when it plays on the radio, what percentage, like, how does that work out? I think people would be really interested to know.
Yeah, and I'm not a super expert on every law, but one of the issues is the law that we have to be compensated on the streaming, like when you go to stream a song, that was created in like 1920, right? It's really, really old law. Yeah. And radio is a different law. So you can negotiate rates on radio, right? So it's like we're compensated because we have more of a free market on the radio spins, and we don't on the streaming and CD sales and that kind of stuff.
How hard is it to kill a planet? Maybe all it takes is a little drilling, some mining, and a whole lot of carbon pumped into the atmosphere. When you see what's left, it starts to look like a crime scene.
Are we really safe? Is our water safe? You destroyed our town.
And crimes like that, they don't just happen.
We call things accidents. There is no accident. This was 100% preventable.
They're the result of choices by people. Ruthless oil tycoons, corrupt politicians, even organized crime. These are the stories we need to be telling about our changing planet. Stories of scams, murders, and cover-ups that are about us and the things we're doing to either protect the Earth or destroy it. Follow Lawless Planet on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to new episodes of Lawless Planet early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Movie night, date night, or solo marathon. IMDb is your ultimate entertainment companion. Discover new favorites, rate what you've watched, and never miss an episode with the free IMDb app. Curate your watch list with a tap. Get personalized notifications for your favorite shows. And find your next must-watch movie or series. From blockbusters to hidden gems, we've got you covered. Download the app now, register for free, and find your next favorite.
How, in the immediacy, like how is the streaming economy changing the royalty checks compared to the CDs and the downloads?
It's a big deal. You can talk about it, Whitney.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely narrowed the game, just like Ben was saying. I mean, I think if you have 30% of a record that streams 1 billion times, you're making around $30,000.
Wow.
So 1 billion times. So you do the most exceptional thing in your career, performing at the top 1% of your industry, and you make $30,000. You know, it's interesting. It's like the heads of these streaming companies. Imagine if the heads of these companies, the CEOs, made $30,000. It's pretty wild. So we've been trying to, you know, we've been going to bat for our community and trying to change these laws for years and years. And there's so, you know, we've come far-ish, but there's still a ways to go. So it's an active fight.
I think show is so important for that reason, because like I said, I didn't really understand the world of songwriting. I watched that song Songland a couple of years ago and loved it.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like a screenwriter and an actor in a film, and then you see them in the Academy Awards, but it really began with someone's beautiful words. And there's so few people that can kind of craft their way through a song or through a script. And I like the show because, like I said, it's like this mad genius thing. You get a window into how quickly you work, how much you work together. I had no understanding until Songland, I think, how collaborative it can be. Have you felt like people are starting to see you in a different way because of the show?
That is all of our hopes and dreams coming into this show, is that it would just shine a light on our industry and kind of raise awareness that, you know, we even exist. I think a lot of people just assume that, you know, whoever, Justin Bieber just writes all of his hits, you know, like, and no doubt he's a talented writer, but there's a whole, you know, industry of people behind him helping make it happen. And that's been exciting to see. That I have seen in my own little world already people reaching out and going, I had no idea this is what you did. I had no idea this even was a thing. And people saying like, this gives me hope for being involved in the music industry, because I don't want to be a performer. I don't want to be an artist. I don't want to be on stage, but I'm creative. I can create, I can write songs. And like, there's so many different avenues for people to work in this industry and this amazing creative artistic community that we have. And so I really am impressed so far with how people have received the show. And I'm hopeful that more and more people can watch it and really learn a lot about what we do.
It's a hard profession and industry to pack into one season. So hopefully we get more seasons. We'll have an opportunity to show kind of more of what we do, because it's so layered and multifaceted.
Well, Whitney, one other question I have is, like, beyond the royalties, are there other income streams that are critical for a songwriter today?
I mean, for songwriters, working in TV and film is always, you know, getting TV syncs is always a healthy check. And if you can get into that world and get involved in the sync world, I encourage all writers that have publishers to inquire about their sync teams in their publishing companies, because that can be a really healthy source of income.
The backbone of our industry is really royalties. So, but like you said, TV and film is a great secondary way to make money.
Does it matter to Ben if you're in Nashville or LA? Can you do this remotely? Do you have to be in those places? I'm assuming the network connections are so important.
So important. Yeah, I always say you have to be present to win, right? So I think you can't overstate the value of being in the action. Iron sharpens iron. You want to be around other people who challenge you, who make you feel like you aren't up to par. Honestly, I think that is what pushes you to be great. I read this book. I highly encourage Where Great Ideas Come From. And it's pretty amazing. Over the course of history, almost every breakthrough we've ever had has come in areas where it's synergistic connections, right? You want to connect with people who do different things than you and challenge you and have a different perspective and can change and heighten your own perspective and expertise. So yeah, I think although with TikTok, it is incredible that you can put up a song wherever you are in the world and have it go viral and have a moment. I still think it's so important to be around a strong community.
What is the topic or the kind of like subject right now for your next song that's kind of like ticking away in your head?
For our next song, oh my God.
Yeah, like I would just assume, like, even as a podcaster, I am constantly thinking about different topics and what I want to cover. Is there like a word that's in your head? Is there a subject?
Is there a word that's haunting you, Whitney?
I
Is there
think
a word like strawberries?
Am I haunted by a fruit title? But there's a running joke with the cat.
On the show, I remember you talk a lot about fruit and sex. So
Okay,
where are you right now? What
fruit are you on right now?
What's in your
Whitney?
head?
What fruit am I on? Okay. Right now, there's no fruit in my house right now, so it's a fruit-free house at the moment. I also am moving, but no, that was such a funny moment, just because it was like, if you just pull that out of the session, it's kind of hilarious. It seems a little ridiculous, but that does happen. I mean, I think if you're a creative, you operate with there's moments where you operate in a different dimension, and there's a creative portal for all of us. And I think that, call it a psychic moment or whatever, but if I know that I'm writing a certain type of song that day for a specific artist, I try to be very present and listen in the mornings. And, a lot of the cast members talk about the 24 hours leading up to writing a song. It's really important. And if you believe in magic, you believe in that, in the process of songwriting. So some mornings sometimes it will be a word, sometimes it'll be somebody's story. And I believe that if whatever I'm feeling going into that session is meant to be written. So I try not to step too far out of that box, because if it's on my brain and on my mind, it's definitely for a reason.
And then lastly, are you going to keep in touch with the people from the show that you filmed with?
Our group chat's going off.
Oh, good. I wanted it that way. I had a feeling that this was going to be one of those shows where you actually have like really great connections that come out of it. I kind of hope that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we also have such a strong foundation of a shared love of what we do and of music. And it's cool because, I mean, at least for myself, I really didn't know anyone except for Whitney going into it. But we, like Whitney said, we have a strong group text, and we have been hanging out as much as possible. It's such a great group of people. Every single one of the people are so talented and honestly just so kind. And we all love supporting each other. So it's been really cool to see.
Well, I think really, again, I wouldn't consider myself like a real music person. I absolutely love this show. And I think
that's awesome.
That says a lot about how I think that it sort of transcends so much. I really loved it. I hope it comes back for another season. Tell everybody where they can find you both. Whitney, where can they find you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is I am Whit Phillips. It's also my TikTok, I am Whit Phillips.
My Instagram is, I think it's the Only Ben Johnson 2, because the Only Ben Johnson was taken. And then I think my TikTok is the Biggest Ben. I actually did get that there. And then Whitney and I also have a podcast that we started along with the show. It's called Hitmakers Podcast. And you can find interviews with everyone who is on the cast. And also we do episode breakdowns, tell you behind the scenes, stuff that didn't make the show. And that's been a lot of fun. So you can check us out there as well.
I am so grateful for your time. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank my fantastic guests, Whitney and Ben, and remind you to make sure that you click subscribe. Please leave a 5-star review. Join the Facebook group Reality Life with Kate Casey. And you can also get bonus episodes on Apple Podcast and on Patreon at patreon.com/Kate Casey. And also, you can get my What to Watch list, so you can find shows like these by going to katecasey.substack.com to subscribe and follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at @KateCaseyCA, TikTok it's Kate Casey, and Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at Kate Casey. Check back tomorrow for an all-new must-listen-to episode.
Mindy Thomas.
And I'm Guy Raz.
And we're the host of the #1 podcast for curious kids, Wow in the World.
Mindy, can you believe we have our very own Wow in the World STEM toys?
I totally can't believe it, Guy Raz. 8 years ago, when we started making Wow in the World, we were on a mission to spread the latest wow discoveries in science and technology and innovation. And now we get to help kids discover these wows right at home?
That's right. From the ultimate high-flying air rocket to the light-up terrarium, there's something for every wowzer in your world to play and tinker with.
Grown-ups, you can find Wow in the World STEM toys available now at select Walmart locations or online at walmart.com. Shop the wow now.